flowing game. It's had this Ollie Rand free kick. He's played on. Yeah. He has played on. He has too. Yeah, he absolutely has. You can't fool me.
I think Ray may have heard there. I think you've got to give the benefit of the doubt.
Nah, he played on. I mean, it's tough. It's a tough gig, but yep, thumbs up from us here in the crowd. And here it is. The Tigers have done it. They've got the scalp of the dual premiers. And Rats Army have found a way to win. What a ripper here. 13-9, 87 Lindisfarne. 11-7, 73. And you can see how much this means.
They won a premiership.
And there's Aaron Kay. They better remember they might be seeing this team later on in the season. Rat might just have to start to calm it down, but it's been a bottler here at the TCA.
Well, there we have it, the live scenes from the TCA. My name is Tubes Taylor. Welcome to the map. Peachy Roberts joins me from Launceston. Peach, good evening.
G'day, Tubes. Thanks, mate. Looking terrific yourself. Yeah, finally had football back, or men's football, and it indeed was an outstanding game at Hobart.
Gee, Duff said out there if they won a premiership. Well, I can tell you that the Hobart boys were certainly up and about, Peach.
Yeah, it was quite remarkable. I had a chat to a few of the guys after the game, and they were saying that the Hobart players that have been around for a couple of years haven't had a lot of victories, and they were a really quiet bunch of players. And when those Richmond Exodus came across and migrated to the TCA ground, they really tried to build up and get some confidence back and some voice. And I suppose you can fake it sometimes, but they faked it for part of it. Now they've actually gone and won a game. So it was quite incredible. Aaron Kay chatted to us on the map as well. He was just going nuts all day. He was good fun to watch, but plenty of other players really contributed throughout the day for Hobart. They were outstanding.
Well, it certainly was game of the round, Peach, and it was great to have Duff TV back live streaming SFL action all across the globe, mate. Game of the round, certainly it was. And the Lindisfarne boys, where does that put them for the season?
I think they'll be okay. I mean, if you look at Lindisfarne, they've got a little bit of time to gel. So, you know, I've seen a few players into their side. Polanowski was nearly their best on ground in the ruck. I thought Tannick, probably ball use wasn't as good as he usually is, but he got a stack of the ball. The back half was good. Casti looked okay. You know, I think they've got some improvement. Roberts was a bit down on what he can usually do. And they only lost by a couple of goals, maybe by the biggest improving side. So, new system for Lindisfarne. I was trying to get a bit of an eye on the game style from them, and it looked similarish to, you know, Daniel Willing. So I don't think Lindisfarne will be too far away. I imagine they'll certainly fight back. And certainly the biggest contributor on the day was the fourth quarter. Hobart hadn't kicked a goal in the first quarter, even though they had lots of play in this man. Aaron Joseph initially with a free kick and a dead-eye dig with a kick here from 50 metres and a really good finish as we see this one swing back around. And this just gave a little bit of confidence to Hobart. But tell you what, it gave some confidence to Aaron Joseph, who then took this mark in the pocket from a turnover. So strong mark. And then he came down the embankment, the old dog track, and slotted it here.
Oh, what a goal.
Turned to 200 or 300 people in the dry area / wet area and really got excited. Another lovely set shot. That was a couple of minutes later, and so suddenly now Hobart hit the front, and this is after probably 6 or 7 minutes of dominant football. Finally, it was the first time they're actually getting a score on the board, and then he kicked a further one, which was a free kick. You'll see here in a second. Adams was good also from Richmond. Quite a cheeky interpretive play. There's a little block out here. You probably can't see. It's just off camera from the defender. And he got an easy free kick. But to be honest, there's about 5 of these throughout the day. So the umpires called it each time. And that really cemented Joseph as the player who had the biggest influence on the game, even though I think Hobart's defenders are excellent. But yeah, 4 goals in a space of about 12 minutes when Hobart weren't scoring was certainly a big factor for Hobart's success, Tubes.
Peachy, you caught up with Brad Joseph after the game up at the TCA because he was the ID Clothing Player of the Match.
Brad, well done, mate. Here's your hat, ID Clothing Player of the Match. Pop it on your head, mate. Wonderful sponsor from the Southern Football League. Now, Brad, you know this group well. A lot of Richmond guys here, including Alex. What's it been like with Hobart Football Club this year?
Oh, mate, it's been unreal. The boys are such a good bunch of blokes. The club's been pretty starved to success. I was just good to get a win. And
they seemed like the emotion was massive. We could feel it. We saw it at the end of the game. Is that something that's been building with Rat coming in?
Yeah, so when we first got here, the boys were a pretty quiet bunch. We sort of drummed it into them to sort of get the voice going, just creates energy, which I thought we showed today, which is good.
Watching the game, do you think that the Richmond game plan has been brought now to Hobart? It certainly looked like that from the commentary box.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
And what's the pre-season been like, mate? Have you got enough Ks in the legs?
Oh, she's been pretty long.
Now, I'm just concerned your biceps, mate. There were some fair celebrations for you on a couple of occasions. Well done today. Let's hope it's a cracking season for Hobart. Bradley Joseph, ID, player of the match here in the SFL.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Awesome.
Well, he's a superstar, and I'm excited to see how much excitement and enthusiasm the Hobart Tigers bring to the rest of the season, Peach.
Yeah, look, him and a bunch of other players. Lukey Adams was another one that had a chat from Hobart, and from Richmond, and obviously a plethora of other players that have come across, but they were... Luke Adams said to me it was his best ever win he's been involved in. I'm pretty sure he's got a premiership in there, so yeah, it's not a bad result, and here it is. I mean, look at there's Rat with his little barb, and I think his wife's here on the left as well. There was probably 150 spectators that sort of transitioned down to the club rooms here and the change rooms of Hobart. A few of them snuck in, which you're not meant to, so we're just going to call out to stay out of the change rooms, but there was a lot of passion and a lot of support from there. There's a couple of club legends in there as well.
Yeah, King of West Hobart there, Mark Colgrave, just getting around the Tigers. But it means a lot to that footy club up there, and I'm excited, as I say, to see what else they can bring to the rest of the season. Now, looking around the grounds, Peach, at the other scores in the SFL, Dodgers Ferry had a massive win over Claremont out at Shark Park, 90 points to them, and you can hear Martin Duffy in the background. New Norfolk got over the top of last year's grand finalists, Huonville Lions, which was pretty exciting, I think, for New Norfolk. Who knows, they might be a bit of a mystery bag up there at Boyer. And the final game of the round was Brighton and Sorrel out at Pontville, and it was Brighton getting over the top of Sorrel, Peach.
Yeah, look, as I said, the biggest win was New Norfolk, I think. 7 goals to Marcus Parker. Some new recruits from the ODFA and from clubs that aren't competing in season 2020. And they never bottomed out, do they, New Norfolk? They're just on the edge. Last year, they just missed, elimination. Well, they lost the elimination final. So, yeah, look out, Boyer Oval. There could well be stuff happening there again at the back end of the year.
No, a very proud club up there at the Eagles. In the SFLW, Peach, it was the game of the round that we covered. The Lindisfarne Blues giving the Hobart Tigers a bit of a lesson up at their home ground. Huonville again smashing New Norfolk out at Boyer. Close game between Brighton and North Hobart was probably the closest game of the round, and actually Port over University just by 6 points at Cygnet down there, kicking
Barker goes again
off at Cygnet.
Works hard to get
And here are some highlights from the TCA, Peach. A couple of goals.
And Scott to Wheeler. She throws it out. Now it's kicked towards the forward 50 again. Look out, Norquay. Not Norquay on this occasion. It's Hudson. Kicks towards goal. Scott at the back. He plays Karen Clark. Did she get a bit of shoe on that? So hands up here. Norquay in the ruck. Coming in to compete against her is Barker. She gets a left hand onto it. Snap in the pocket. Clark does it again. Clark with the left boot. Wobbly ball looking for Norquay. Lockley, another chance for her with some space. Left pocket. Lockley's kicked it. Enjoys the celebration. Now it goes into her direction. It's nearly into the hands of Reed. Off the ground. It's dribbling towards goal. And that is a beauty. That's clever from Karen Clark. 5 goals today. You're getting from everywhere. You had a couple opportunities to kick probably a few more as well.
Yep.
Do you have a lot of practice in your goal kicking? Because it looked very good.
Yeah, I have. It's something I've been working on.
So where next for you with your football?
Just stick around Lindisfarne and see where it takes us.
And now today's game, obviously a big win, but obviously you're going to have some tougher games. University looks really good this year. What are the other clubs that you might need to look out for on the SFLW?
I reckon Claremont. They picked up a lot of TSL players.
And that's a club that you know really well.
Yeah, I played 2 seasons with them last year.
So
and the
potentially
year before.
Claremont could be a team to look for.
Yep.
You're fantastic. We loved you here on Duff TV. Congratulations. ID Clothing, player of the match.
Thank you.
She's a star, Peach, and slotted one from 45, if you don't mind, Georgie Bailey.
I mean, it was really helpful to have such a good forward line, and she didn't drift down there till about halfway through the game. So, Karen Clark early, Fish kind of had a couple of opportunities. The ever-impressible captain down there as well. was really good too. So, but yeah, she was just that little bit extra class and stood out in the game. Hobart weren't outdone. I thought they tried really hard, and they'll be good in a couple of years. I think Hobart, that group can stick together. It's a good run out of the back half, but yeah, Georgie was certainly a star and a nice little interview at the end of the game as well.
Now, next week in the SFLW, we've got a feast of SFLW for you on the live stream, thanks to EIS Property and, of course, ID Clothing and the Duff TV sponsors, Jackson Motor Company and Bennett's Petroleum Mood Food. We'll be covering 2 games this week on the SFLW live stream. North Hobart taking on Kingborough at North Hobart, which will be a pretty tight match, I reckon. Something for Kingborough to take away from their season against a much fancied North Hobart Demons side. This game on the Saturday morning, which we'll also be covering from 9:45am, University taking on the South East Suns. I reckon that one's going to be game of the round there, Peach. Claremont take on the Hobart Tigers, Huonville taking on Brighton, and the Lindisfarne Lady Blues up against the Port at Anzac Park. So a huge round of SFLW footy coming up, Peach.
Yeah, I reckon the Lindisfarne Port match might be good as well. I think the Port look pretty good. University building. There's some discrepancy in score lines at the moment, but I imagine once we play a couple of more games, there was around 9 girls that were playing for Hobart on the weekend. That was their second game of football. That's quite incredible. Senior football, you're actually debuting, so they'll all improve and they'll get better as the season goes on.
And for the men this week, another blockbuster round of SFL footy coming up. Claremont taking on Hobart out at Abbotsfield Park. Huonville and Brighton. That'll give us some sort of gauge as where to Brighton's at. The game of the round that Duff TV we live streaming is the Sorell Eagles taking on the Dodgers Ferry Sharks out at Pembroke Park. Lindisfarne take on Signet to round out the round, Peach. How are you seeing this round of footy coming up?
Well, firstly, Duff TV, strap yourself in. Pembroke Park is classified as the second windiest ground in Tasmania after West Park. So it makes sure that Duff's tied to the top of the van. He doesn't go flying off out into midway point. They're all interesting games. Suddenly, everything's of interest because we're going to see a few teams go up and down a little bit. That's what's occurred in other competitions so far in community football and also in the big comp in the mainland. We're going to see a little bit more of Brighton. Have they got a bit more in them to now get on the road and head to Huonville? So look out. I think Huonville will bounce back. Claremont, I think, will have a tough game against Hobart. Let's see if, once again, Hobart going to be able to do it. So, yeah, we're going to have some more answers, I think, after the end of this round, Tubes.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see where Signet's at too, Peach. They've recruited a few, lost a few, as they tend to do, being the southernmost football club in Australia. So, a very exciting round of footy coming up. Yeah, that's right. Very exciting round of footy coming up in the SFL. We must, of course, thank our sponsors, EIS Property, ID Clothing, Jackson Motor Company, and Bennett's Petroleum Mood Food. Well, that's it from me, Tubes Taylor, here on the map. Peach, thanks very much for joining us.
Yeah, my pleasure.
We'll catch you at the footy. Oh, Martin Duffy, just last minute interruption. There he is, Martin Duffy, our producer, on the back end of the map. Take care and bye for now.
Now, Pi, just giving a lot of information and just describing what's meant to occur and maybe the starting conditions, because it can be quite technical at times, umpiring. So well done to that. I know that's certainly the style they're trying to do. Nearly a scoop pass. Now, look out. She snapped him. She's kicked him from everywhere. Didn't quite get forward. Close enough towards goal. Tapped by Norquay. Might get a chance again. Steals it. Kicks a beauty. I tell you what, Rebecca Norquay has had 7 minutes of some of the most scintillating football you would see. Phillips has had a lot of the ball. He turns and kicks high. Gilmore couldn't get it. He flew up high. He's at holding the football. Gilmore on his knees. Cripps turns. Gets to 50, kicks towards goal. Best possession was Joseph, and so was the football. Goal to Hobart. Well, the JMC scoreboard has really jumped out for Hobart now.